It's me, a Mario, and with me is my brother, a Luigi, and we just saw our own movie, the Super Mario movie, and we thought it was...
I thought that it was, sorry,
Pretty good.
It was good. I'm just not, I got the frog suit on today.
Okay. Well, the power-up's pretty good.
It is, but I think I look at you and look at me. Isn't it a little ridiculous?
I should have told you this was a formal event.
Yeah.
You went on the red carpet with a frog suit.
Yeah, and I see how Jack Black feels when he goes in and he looks like a he looks like a turtle and nobody else. And I'm out here, Green the Frog, and you're professional. What is? You do this to your brother. Mama is watching this.
Jesus Christ. I'm crying. I can't deal with... Oh my... Your voice, your accent's so good. Oh my God.
Mario would do that to his brother.
He would do that to his brother.
He was like, show him with your favorite power-up, bro. I was like, I like it. I like the frog when I was
He would totally say like, oh, you just need to dress up. And
then he just shows up in a costume. He's like, oh, you didn't tell me this was at the Met Gala.
So we just saw the Mario movie, and this is our long form video. We just had that other video about the controversy. It was our spoiler-free review. This is our spoilerific review, which if you don't know about Mario, this is also going to be as boring as the movie, because more or less we're going to be talking about all of the references and cool stuff that was like behind the scenes. So
you call the movie boring if you didn't know about Mario stuff? I feel like there's so many shapes and color moving.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Like it just can't be. You know what I mean? There wasn't a single time that I pulled up Subway Surfer on my phone while watching this. Like not a single time.
I would say that, like, and I mentioned in the other video that I feel like they cut too much of the fat, where like there's very little on the edges of like there's no moments where you're just like, oh, when's the next thing gonna happen? They're immediately there, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's also like it seems like it's a 90-minute movie. Like it is like on the cusp of being like, okay, well, this is a little short. Like
and it's jam-packed too.
And it's not short. It's just like we're not used to that anymore. Marvel movies are 2.5, if not 3 hours. So this was like delightful for that point.
And half the time they're just talking inside of like a room full of metal steel panels, and that's it. It's like, oh my God, okay.
And especially for animation, like you got to be like shrewd about like not only your time, but like how much effort you're putting into stuff. And their rendering was really good. A lot of the times when you have like, maybe not subpar rendering, but rendering that is like not finished, you can see noise in there, because the noise is like when you don't give enough time to render. And I mean, I don't know if that's that much of an issue anymore. I saw it in the Cats movie.
Oh yeah, that's
you can see it in the fur on the Cats movie, because they didn't have much time on the Cats movie. But in this movie, everything looked crisp, super delicious. Super Mario it was.
I want to say that. So I want to start a little bit throughout the beginning, right?
I'm still crying from the joke you said.
Sorry.
Like, oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, go on.
Like from the way beginning. Usually you and I, we don't do midnight premieres.
Yeah.
They get a little too hectic, too much talking. We get distracted.
But when you look like this, you got it for the Mario movie.
We have our stick with glasses on, and we're like, oh, what are these savages, and like stuff like that.
Well, especially when everybody's munching on popcorn right next to your ear, and it's too much, especially when everybody claps at like anything that happens. But funny enough, I think that's just for Marvel movies. Because for this one, there were a million references, and you could hear people whispering about the references, but they weren't straight up like clapping when they saw like Luigi or whatever.
Or anything like that, No, it was a pleasant watching experience with a whole bunch of people there. The theater was like super full. We saw this on Dolby too, so there was a lot of seats and whatnot. Pleasant viewing experience. And how can I say this? We need to start from the very, very beginning, which was the first trailer that they revealed to us, if I'm correct.
For Super Mario?
Yes. Which was the Ice Kingdom thing.
Yeah, where Bowser arrives at the Ice Kingdom. Yes.
Yeah, and if you've seen the very first trailer, it was literally the very first scene of the movie, which was like, I don't know, like when I first saw that, I was like the trailer. I mean, I was like, oh man, do I really want to do this? Like trailers have a bad habit of spoiling.
Yep.
But like we said in the previous video, the trailers for this movie were just mainly scenes of the movie just to get people hyped up for it.
Yeah.
But no, the very first beginning of the scene, we're introduced to our bad guy, which very bold, I want to say.
Yeah.
Usually you don't start a movie with the bad guy,
Yeah.
especially in kids movies or kids movies.
Well, similarly, like the most recent Thor movie, you start with the bad guy. Like sometimes it's good to state the stakes.
Yeah.
And so we're in the spoilers territory. This entire thing is going to be spoilers, just so you're aware. That the beginning is Bowser getting the star, and you see that in the trailer, and it's like, and then in the trailer he says, "Who's going to stop me?" But he in the movie says, "No one's going to stop me." So in my mind is just like, then what else is there to do, Bowser?
Yeah.
What's your goal here? And then we find out later is to get married.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how can I say this? It's like the moment where Thanos has the this is kind of like the moment where Thanos has the very last rock, right? He's about to put it on.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, ooh, not yet. I'm trying to impress someone, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, what, dude? It's like, which completely tackled us out of nowhere, because like a trailer would spoil that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it would just ruin that moment. But no, the way it was introduced to us, it was just so cute and menacing at the same time.
And it kind of states that, like, I hate to say that, like, you know, kids movies can have stakes, you know, they can have like insurmountable odds and blah blah blah, but this one kind of shows that it's like, well, you know, we could have like a world-ending problem, or it could just be Bowser, you know, wanting to ask Peach to marry him, and like everybody else is like scrambling in the background to like be like, we need to stop Bowser, he's going to kill us all, and then he's just like, well, I just want to get married.
I just
like,
want to get married. That's all.
And then I'll kill you all.
Yes. So this is after the icing. We were shown that he gets the star, and then after that, what happens? We see another commercial.
We go to Brooklyn.
We go to fucking Brooklyn.
Big spoilers.
Huge.
They do the voice.
Yes.
Yes.
The rumors, the secret audio files that have been shared across the internet, those are all true. He can do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
He can do it.
And it wasn't bad, but it was exactly, speaking of the internet, exactly what everyone said would happen.
Yep.
Which is them doing the voice, and then that, like, in a context of like it being silly, and then coming out and being like, oh, sorry, this is my real voice. That was just a silly voice I put on. They were even themselves. They were like, do you think we went a little too far? Yeah.
And then Charles Martinet is like, nope, you were great.
Yeah,
like giving them the seal of approval.
Like, I think in the credits he's called Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, yeah. And I think he, if you see the movie, he looked like the OG Mario.
Yeah, like Jumpman. From the game.
Yeah, like the Jumpman himself, which was pretty cool. Nice way to use him.
He was playing the arcade cabinet of Jumpman, like Donkey Kong, and that makes me think that, like, so okay, another thing that happens is that later on, like, Mario's down on his luck and he's like, my family thinks I'm stupid and this is dumb, and he's playing Kid Icarus on the NES. Like, their NESs are a thing in this universe. So it makes me think, hopefully, if they do a Smash Bros cinematic universe, that, like, video games are just based on people. So I think Jumpman, Giuseppe, that game might have been based on him, and he was playing his own game.
That'd be cool as hell.
Because he was wearing the same outfit as the character on the thing. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, and like I could see that. It would be funny to see like what other Mario characters would turn up.
Yeah.
And like what they would be in this IRL thing, because we do see Pauline, right?
Yes.
She's the mayor of Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah. I make sure we got the thickest fucking slices.
And yeah, they were at the Punch Out Pizzeria.
Yes, dude. Yep.
And they had literally like concept art from Punch
Mike Tyson was cooking the pizzas.
Jesus Christ!
You got a pepperoni pizza for you, Mario. Here you go.
Got you, Mario.
I love you, Mario. You jump so fucking high.
Don't step on my pigeons.
Don't step on my pigeon. I'll fucking kill you, Mario.
But yeah, so that was a fun, like, there, and that opens the door to all the Easter eggs in this game. There are like a stupid amount, and in an endearing way, because they're not. Well, I was going to say that they don't like spoil anything. Like, it's not like, oh, look at this Easter egg over here. It's like just part of the world. Yeah, and it benefits because we have, and I mean, I was actually thinking about making a separate video on this. Comment if you want this video about motifs in music.
Yes.
And they've been using the same music for 30 plus years, almost 40 years.
Yep.
And so hearing it in the movie sounds completely natural, but you understand because you've played the game when the motif comes in and leaves because, oh, a race car is here. So I know they're going to play the Kart theme. Oh, we're underwater. We'll play the underwater theme. All that stuff, you know? So it was like legitimately very... It felt completely natural to hear and see all of the things that were in there.
Like if you weren't like a Mario fan or anything, you would hear these sounds and be like, "Oh, is this sound design? Is this a stylistic? Is this an artistic like take from it?" And it sounds great. It's not distracting.
Yeah.
But as someone who has played it, those little motifs, those little things, to a lot of people, like I said, it will be just little sounds, but it's a little extra for those who like truly love it. And it's. And like, let me tell you, like Shigeru Miyamoto, like he was an exec, right?
Yes.
Like I'm pretty sure he was like, we get these things right.
So yeah, and we mentioned in the other video that like it should have the Nintendo stamp of approval on it. But in particular, there was an interview link, I'll link it in the description, in which the executive or the director from Illumination is sitting there with Shigeru Miyamoto, and they're talking about the movie, and you can hear Shigeru Miyamoto's like, well, I just wanted to make sure that like, you know, the movie like kept the same kind of spirit that the game did. And then you hear the executive from Illumination be like, so Miyamoto-san was really good at pointing out when certain things would be a benefit and making sure that we upheld the game. And what I think happened was anytime something got remotely boring, he's like, put this thing in. Like his encyclopedic like Rolodex of all the Mario stuff, he's like, this is where this would go. This is where this would go. And just like kept giving them ideas because based on every story that people tell about Miyamoto, he'll walk into a room and be like, hey, here's $1 million idea. Please put it in. Like, consistently.
Awesome. That's good stuff.
I'm not saying that like he's the genius behind the movie, but like I feel like a lot of the Easter eggs, he just like has such a love and knowledge of the series that he's like, yeah, put that in. This is what this would be. And he's way easier than Googling it. Yeah. He knows. So I think he just sat in a room, was talking with them, and then just relayed, here's how we chock this full of all the stuff that the fans love and already want.
Yeah. He doesn't come across as like the micromanaging type or anything like that.
Which he totally could be. And that might have been the Illumination guy being like, this was an ordeal, but I think it's good.
Like behind his head is like,
He just starts sweating like really fast. Yeah.
But no, so the commercial plays, these two brothers, they start a plumbing company. Yeah. And they shoot the little commercial. They're like, we're from Brooklyn and we're gonna save you from leaky pipes.
Yeah, we're gonna save Brooklyn.
And like all this stuff. I like the homemade style like video that's type thing that they spend their life savings on.
You see the actresses reading the teleprompter.
Yeah, clearly reading it. Or when they're like flying across, they have the chairs under them and stuff. It's so good.
And they're wearing the yellow capes that let you fly in a Mario. But so also. Good. Fun fact. So, and this will bring up like so much trivia that I have that's external to like references that that somebody that likes Mario would know.
Yeah.
The lady that's in the trailer, like in that commercial, I was actually talking with my girlfriend and we are just like, she seems like she would be this or that. And we kept bringing it up. Turns out that's the voice of Princess Peach from the Super Mario Super Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's go.
As well as they use the song from the Super Mario Super Show. I mentioned it in the April Fool's video.
What was it?
Yeah, oh my God, I can not say it, but go watch that video if you want just a good time of like random Mario like memes that have been surfaced for the past like 2 decades.
Now remember, kids, if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. I love him.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Lou Albano. This is great. But yeah, so not only is that her voice, but the character, we're like, that looks like somebody. I thought it was Pauline from Donkey Kong, like the way that her first original look is. I don't think so. I think that just looks like the actress that voiced the thing, which I think is kind of nice.
Hell yeah, so, that's awesome. No, I was gonna say like, how can I say, when the thing with Illumination, they made up so many movies and they made how can I say. They have a stylistic silhouette, may I say, for a character, for like background characters and stuff like that. Especially in like in Despicable Me, where like a lot of the characters in there are like exaggerated versions of like whatever they are, right? Yeah. And same this goes for like as well like Pixar and stuff like that. Sure. The human models in this, the way stylistically they were made, Mario being Mario. Short, smaller stature, bigger head, and stuff like that. didn't feel like he stuck the hell out in this world.
Yeah.
It felt like, oh yeah, he lives here. People know he's short, and even he knows it and stuff like that. But it's not like uncomfortable.
Exactly.
There is I feel like as a creative, and I feel like this is probably a big challenge that Illumination must have felt, is how do we have this character and make him fit in the regular world?
Yeah.
We've never had him in the regular world. He's been jumping up and down in Mushroom Kingdom.
We did in New Donk City.
You're right.
When there were literally real-looking people that were like 3 times his height. Yeah.
And in that, he completely stuck out, right?
Yeah.
He completely stuck out, but I feel like for a video game reason, you would want that because you don't want Mario to get lost in New York, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna end up finding you're gonna find McAllister before you find him in there.
Macaulay Culkin?
Macaulay Culkin. He was what was his name? McAllister something.
Yeah, something. Yeah, from the Home Alone.
I feel like that.
Kevin McAllister.
Kevin McAllister.
That was it,
Either way, no, but like, what was I going with this? I love Mario.
And yeah, I'll say that they include a couple of characters that have been in other Mario properties that like weirdly add layers of drama to Mario's life. And so the stakes of the movie are basically 2 things.
2 things, yeah.
1, the Mushroom Kingdom will be destroyed by Bowser if he doesn't get a wife.
Yeah.
So incel Bowser. And then 2 is Mario's internal conflict with not being good enough for his father, which is like... They mentioned it in interviews, like before the movie, and I'm just like literally, they were like, "What do you think you have the most in common with Mario?" And Chris Pratt's like, "I never was able to please my father." Like, it's like, and Bowser's just like, "We both like music."
Yeah.
As well as what was it? Anya Taylor-Joy for Peach was like, "I think we would go and be on motorcycles together and ride motorcycles." And then Chris Pratt's like, "I can never please my father.
I can never be able to please my father."
Yeah.
So
that's the main thing. But like those characters all feel similar. And just like in The Last of Us, we have Ellie's mom is played by Ellie, like the voice actress as well as performance actress for The Last of Us game. We have Mario's dad is voiced by Charles Martinet.
Yeah. Charles Martinet voiced a couple of characters in this movie.
From what I saw in the credits, it was just Giuseppe and his dad. But
Giuseppe and his dad?
He could have done every fucking character. Like he's legitimately an incredibly good voice actor.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they gave him a role that had enough gravitas that he stuck around like for a little bit.
Going back to Mario's dad, there is that little bit of conflict with it's like. Throughout the entire time, even in that first in the Punch Out Pizzeria thing, this Mario has a conflict of he literally says like, "I'm sick of people like thinking that we can't do stuff like they're not giving us the chance and whatnot." Even like even with his family and whatnot, but like it didn't come across as that big of a problem with Mario. To me, Mario felt a little Mary Sue to me.
Sure.
If I'm honest in this, I feel like Luigi had a little bit more of a struggle than Mario did in this.
Which is why people like Luigi better in general, because he actually has an arc to him. And then Mario's arc in this, is that he's a stalwart hero that loves his brother and his family and wants to save his brother, and that they replace Peach as the damsel in distress with Luigi, and I think that that's really good because it gives Mario a reason to do everything.
Yeah. Like Mario first time walks into the Mushroom Kingdom. He's not gonna save a princess that he doesn't like know nothing about. So I'm looking for my brother. Okay, I need to get out of here.
And that makes it a bit more good because they're the heart of the story. He says like, if we're together, nothing can hurt us.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Or especially when you're told is like, why are you dragging your brother down?
Yeah. Oh
it's
my
like,
god.
Yeah.
When his dad and he's picking out mushrooms he likes pasta in this. We did it. He had pasta power. There you go.
He had pasta power. I remember that shit. Yeah.
But he's like, he doesn't like mushrooms, and then he's just asking his dad. He's like, "Well, what do you think, Dad?" He's like, "I think you're ruining your life. And you're dragging your brother down with you."
Yeah.
And then the family's like, he's like, "What did I say?"
What did I say? What is it?
Exactly.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, and that we also see Spike, who is from the Wrecking Crew game, and that Mario had a bunch of games before Super Mario where he was just putzing around doing random shit.
Yeah.
One of them was Wrecking Crew, and you were supposed to destroy a building, and that's kind of where the idea for Wreck-It Ralph came from.
Oh,
is that
okay.
that game was like you're destroying a building vertically, and so Mario and Luigi are in that, and Spike is your boss in that. So it's kind of a cool idea that like that was the game before Super Mario.
Yeah.
And so it's the idea that they were a part of the Wrecking Crew and they left that to pursue their dream of being plumbers. They're doing the American dream and they're in Brooklyn and it's great, except nobody's calling and nobody cares.
Yeah, so, that's the thing. Like, typical New York, you have to really work extremely hard to like stick out.
Yeah.
But like,
where you can see it in Mario that he's trying to find any excuse to go out and like do epic shit.
Why are you wearing gloves? I need something to stick out. I need anything to stick out. And like, they get their very first call after their borderline embarrassing commercial. They get their very first call. And they head over.
If you made that commercial today, everyone would love it. Like, they do that all the time.
I would call that shit immediately. I'll be like, y'all come over here, bring your yellow capes and bring your stools.
Do you do birthdays?
You do birthdays? Please come on over. Yes. So they come over to the house and they're like, finally, we're doing this. We're finally doing this. They get up and it's a nice apartment, dude. It sticks out in the block. They head on in and, dude, it's their first challenge ever. It's a dog.
To which it's funny that they like, I know that it's a small Easter egg, but yeah, like Luigi's immediately scared of the dog.
Yep.
And he has a pet dog in the later games in Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
So it's like a callback to like, I guess the fact that the only dog he likes is a ghost. Like,
yeah, makes sense.
If it can't hurt him, then he doesn't mind. But yeah, that dog, like, that was from like Secret Life of Pets or something. They like inserted a character from a different movie into this
dog had a lot of character into it. And dude, this dog wanted them dead.
Yeah, it was legitimately very funny how sadistic the dog was. Yeah.
There was a, how can I say this? I think one of my favorite moments is like the dog just in the entire time is just like just kind of just stone faced, and then it just gets angry and shuts the door behind him. It's like, oh Jesus.
Like, that was paced. So the beginning of the movie, frankly, there are parts of this movie that are paced and shot so well that it got me out of the like, oh, this is a fun movie for kids. It's like, this is depressing and weirdly violent.
Yeah.
And then they get to the point where Luigi gets to the he gets warped to a different part of the Mushroom Kingdom, and it becomes I guess it's a children's horror movie, but it was legitimately like horrific.
There was some scary imagery in there. But sorry, before all that, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
There's video game movies have a awful habit of kind of like bringing something from the game into the movie and doing it. For example, both Doom movies had their first-person shooter segment. The Halo series had a first-person shooter segment. Every video game movie has this thing.
Yeah.
This one had it multiple times in which they were running late to that first job, and they had to do their side scroller like thing, which I think it was modeled after the first level, where it was like the platform and then the three things, and like it to me it reminded me of that a little bit. Which was like it was literally like the first level to me. It felt, which was really cool.
Also funny because that makes a lot of sense, as well as it like kind of looks like Wrecking Crew, that design. But then he like does the like flagpole thing. But then they end up going to, so the first job doesn't go too well because of the dog. And then there are big old disappointments to their family. And then they see on the news that there's a big old leak. We see that Pauline is the mayor of Brooklyn or New York City, which I assume they're going to rename to New Donk City the next game, maybe, or next movie. But ultimately, they're like, oh, we can go save that because they're legitimately just good plumbers, which I appreciate. You know, they're not bumbling. And so they go, and he's like, I know where to look. And then you see when he goes down into the sewers to try to fix this giant leak, it's like flooding Brooklyn. You see that it says level 1-2, which is the underground level from the first game. And I'm like, man, are they just going to do the whole first game like that?
It's everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. Yeah.
And that was like the first time I'm like, oh, there's just nothing but references everywhere in this thing. And it's wall to wall. Like, I think you'd probably need 2 or 3, if you're just yourself watching it, 2 or 3 viewings and like writing down notes to like find all of the references.
Oh my gosh,
and there are going to be so many think pieces that are just like, did you know top 50 things you didn't notice in the Mario movie? And I'm going to watch all of them.
Years are going to pass, and like Miyamoto's going to be like, you guys forgot one, and you guys see this, and like it just shows, and it's going to blow our fucking minds.
Yep, it's going to be a new direct where he just does that.
Because I feel like he like you said, he just walks into a room and is like, let's just add more and more and more. Why not? Just do it.
To which, in that one interview, it's really funny that they were like, the interviewer was just like, hey, so we have Mario Land in Universal Studios, new Mario movie. When can we expect another Mario game? And he's just like, look out for a direct sometime. It's like,
Let's
Bro,
go. Let's go.
But also the fact that, like, yeah, the movie does a good amount of effort trying to make it, I wouldn't say like the games, because, like, you know, you can only do so much with the games, but they have so much of the animation of, like, everybody fighting in there, but it also cribs off of the level design and a lot of the effort in there when he first meets Peach, and Peach is like, oh, you want to go take on Bowser, and he has your brother? Cool. Let's go. Let me see if you can do this obstacle course.
Yeah,
and it's basically Mario Maker. It's great.
So let's get there first. So they go after this job.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is flooding.
Yeah.
Mario just like he's like a beautiful mind. He knows exactly where to go and like how to fix this problem. They go out to fix it and they find this pipe. This pipe is like weird. Luigi just gets sucked in. We don't even hear anything. He just disappears. It felt like the Alien movie where like, huh? And like your friend is gone.
Like eerie a little bit.
Yeah. And like Mario walks in, they get sucked in. This is where they get separated. It reminded me of the new Super Mario World, in which like they're all traveling through and whatnot. And from there they get separated. Mario shows up to the Mushroom Kingdom, and Luigi shows up. They called it the Shadow, not the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, but like the Dark World.
The Dark World and stuff like that.
Which
That's
is,
where
I think, the name for that.
I believe it. That sounds like King Koopa enough.
Yeah.
And so that's where they start separating, and we find our third. I want to say our third lead, which is voiced by Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah.
Did I say his name right?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
cool.
Right,
Toad. He plays Toad, and like, dude, super fucking charming. You said earlier that like you no longer could like not tell, but you no longer were just like paying attention to who was voicing who.
Exactly.
He was like the first one.
Same.
His voice is unrecognizable. I know they pitched it up and whatnot, but the level of energy and like, first of all, like a lot of people think like, oh, Toad is annoying. Not in this movie. In this movie, like perfect fucking balance. To me, at least to me, he was awesome.
Apparently, I think it was they played. It was Jack Black, Charlie Day, and Keegan-Michael Key played Mario Kart with Jacksepticeye in a video.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty fun. But in that video, I think Keegan-Michael Key does the Toad voice, and he didn't need like they pitch it a little bit, but like you can hear him do the voice, and he's like just good at it. He can just do the voice.
Hell yeah.
Like he was the one that I'm just like, that's just a voice actor they hired. You know?
He's just like a really good voice actor.
Yeah.
I think this could be a new direction for him, because before this he did Wendell and Wild.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that could be a cool direction.
I'd like that.
From there, Toad is like, listen, Mario, you're new here. You kind of look like the same species, I guess, as our princess. So come and meet her. This is where we see for the first time Mushroom Kingdom like in detail, and like, dude, it's nothing like in any game.
Yeah, no.
Usually you see the princess's castle, and like you're surrounded by beautiful meadow. It's like quiet.
It's weirdly like Legend of Zelda, where it's just like
Yeah.
a weird rural rustic town.
Yeah, and like
the castle, a bunch
super
of stuff
full
around.
of life too.
Yeah.
Super colorful.
There's like an economy where they're like hitting the blocks to get like.
And they were like tired from it too. It was awesome. Also, dangerous routes to take, by the way. Like, there's no rails anywhere.
Yeah, legitimately, it seems like they're just like, well, there are these random moving things, so we built all of our ecosystem around it. Yeah,
and just use it. Yeah, just use it.
And so they finally get to the Mushroom Kingdom and the castle.
They get to the castle,
and Peach also has a little bit of a redesign, where her head in the games, she just looks like a regularly proportioned human being. But they made her head enormous in this, not like stupidly big, but enough that she does also look similar to Mario and Luigi, enough that it's believable. And we find out that she's never really had a backstory, from what I understand in the Mario lore. It's just that she has like, I think, legitimately like royal parents. It's a whole thing. Yeah. In this, they kind of show that no, there are stuff from this world, which are basically weird animals, and then there are human beings, and human beings presumably either come from a different world or from Earth, and that they might have also been setting up like maybe Mario Galaxy or something. Regardless, she came from a different world. I like the they showed her in a backstory in which she was explaining like where she came from, that she came out of the same pipe potentially. Yeah, it looked like it.
Which I like the idea of like, oh, she was just a lost child and like somehow come across here, and she was raised to become like princess. Yeah. For the Mushroom Kingdom. And I like the fact that it wasn't like, how can I say, it was Nintendo enough where like it wasn't like a greedy backstory or something like that. It was more like charming and like it was nice and whatnot.
I'll tell you. Baby Peach and Baby Mario and Baby Luigi were all on model, and I'm like, no way did they actually go out of their way to do that.
And they did not look weird.
No, weirdly. Well, I mean, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is super weird. But yeah, Baby Peach looked like adorable, and then they made sense when you see the other kid bullying them, and it's just like, it's one of those things. Yeah. That's one of the things that I think if a movie reviewer was watching it, they'd be like, if they didn't have a red and a green hat, I wouldn't know what the hell those kids are. So that shows the beauty of their outfits and how easy it is to differentiate. But yeah, if you played the games, I mean, and that's also a part of the thing is that everyone has played or knows of Mario at this point.
He's like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, exactly. And that like Mario Kart and Super Mario Brothers is enormous. One of the biggest games ever. And I know that like not everyone's a gamer, but like everyone's heard of Mario Kart by now.
Yeah, for real.
So we're at a point where like I get the idea that like, well, if I'm not a Mario fan, I might not like this. It's like, but are you a Mario fan? You probably are, and you probably did enjoy it. So,
chances are that you're gonna want to watch this.
Yeah.
But no, they get to the castle. He's still like trying to look for his brother.
Yeah.
I kind of like what they did with Peach in this.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the games, and for some reason my brain goes to what was it? Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh yeah.
Where she was borderline useless.
Oh yeah. She just gets abducted and then be told that she is a child.
Constantly the entire time. But in this one, it's like, no, you guys raised me and I'm your princess. I'm gonna fucking defend you like tooth and nail. They made her badass in this one. Like it was really cool to me.
This is my favorite Easter egg. Is Peach, because in my mind, if you've ever played the new Super Mario Brothers, like with the Wii U game, any of the ones where you can play as Peach, she's easy mode. And what I mean by that is she jumps really high and she can float, which in a platformer is OP and it's great. So in this movie, instead of making her a damsel in distress, the games have made her the best character. So they just make her an incredibly good fighter and like character because that's how she's been characterized in the games.
Super competent.
And I appreciate that because of the fact that not only she's lived in this world her entire life, but also the fact that like if you've played the games, you're just like, I like playing as Peach because she's just like a fun time to play. And you see it in the movie that she doesn't need help because she is the easiest character to be because she's the most OP. And I'm like, that translates really well to this movie because why would she be the damsel in distress when she already lives in this world and Luigi's already kind of, he can take that role.
Yeah, and especially like in this one where she meets Mario, fucking body slams his ass. It's like, I don't know you, dude. You're weird.
Yeah, after they have like a little moment of her just like, she gets that like Vaseline over the lens look of like love struck a little bit. Yeah. And so in that, I had a moment of just like, I kind of like that he's just like looking for his brother and she's just like, oh, the first human being I've seen in my entire life. Cool. I mean, I'm kind of about it. Yeah,
exactly. May as well accept you. But we're going to test you. I'm not going to drag you.
Yeah, it's not like I like you, Baka.
So we're gonna go through this training course and get your ass whooped.
Legitimately had like a cool budding friendship. Like every time they talk to each other, there's like they literally call it flirting at one point. But like it's kind of wholesome and cute. Like I really liked it. Yeah.
Let him do the thing,
Yeah.
But no, they go through the course. She completely annihilates it. This is where they explain. This is one of the most awkward scenes in the movie for me. Is explaining what the mushroom does.
Yes.
Mostly because they explain it well. It's like, oh yeah, the mushroom gives you power. It makes you a little bit bigger, but only you, Mario. And it also gives you extra strength. But to me, throughout the entire movie, they kind of never use it again.
They a little bit. Like they show that when he gets it, he can now pound through blocks, where before he couldn't do that, like the regular brown blocks, which is like the point of the game. But yeah, I agree that it was weirdly explanative. If you haven't played the games, of course, it was like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. Having it in there felt a little clunky. And it wasn't a bad thing. It's just like it comes and it goes. It's not that like super like it took forever to do. But at the same time, everybody already knows what those things do. Yeah. So we as an audience, it felt to me like we were waiting for them to be like, oh, cool, I already know what that is. Like there's a bunch of stuff in the game, or the movie, where you see it and you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen because I played the games. So similarly with the dry bones, with the Koopa, the skeleton Koopa, as soon as like Luigi defeats it, you're like, oh, I've played the game. I know that they come back to life. And that was the unfortunate part of the movie for me, is that not only from the trailers, they kind of spoil a couple of set pieces, but also having played the games, you get a good amount of it not like spoiled for you, but you get that 2 + 2 = 4 where you're just kind of like waiting for them to get past the reveal because you already know what's going to happen. Doesn't take too long for them to get past the reveal, but it was a little clunky that I could see people have a problem with it. I didn't mind that much. Yeah. But like, I felt that sentiment.
Yeah, the only reason I had a problem with it is obviously it was there to explain, hey, these are power-ups, this is what it's here for. Yeah. But is that they made it seem like the mushroom one is so important, but never went back to it. Like they showed Mario growing like a couple times within this training montage. Sure. But they never do it again. Yeah. And I don't think they're ever gonna do it again, because I'll be honest, seeing that was a little awkward.
They did a couple times, like where they like it was a sight gag where like they're powering up and you see him like grow up to that like height.
Where else in the movie?
Well, there were a bunch of like parkour action sequences. There's one where he and Donkey Kong are going to like go to the wedding, like they're running to the wedding. Yes. You see it a little bit, as well as I think there was another time where he's like, I'm trying to remember when, but he does like a whole running through a thing and he gets a couple of power-ups. So similarly. Yeah. But he deliberately, like when they get to the Mushroom Kingdom, Donkey Kong gets a fire flower, he gets the mushroom. Yeah.
Which first time ever for Donkey Kong. He never gets a fire flower, so he looked cool doing it.
So we've basically gotten to the point where they're saying like, hey, we're about to get overrun by Bowser and his army. We need to go get help. Let's go.
Peach is like, let's go to Kong Kingdom.
Yes. And so they knock on the door, and I'm pretty sure the dude that answers the door was Funky Kong.
You think it was Funky Kong?
I know it doesn't look like his actual model, because his model is a skater dude. But he was blonde. Yep. He wore a jacket and he had sunglasses. The only one that I know that has sunglasses. Yep. Which brings up the fact, okay, so they had Take On Me in that moment. There's a later part where they get their cars, they play Thunderstruck. Yeah. At the very beginning, when the little penguins are assaulting, they play that song from Kill Bill, where it's like the cool that one.
And that was only on the commercial, not in the movie. They don't do that in the movie. Was it?
That's what surprised me. In the commercial, it's an orchestral thing that I thought helped the tone better. As soon as they do that, I felt like it was to get a laugh, and I'm just like, bro, like this kind of takes me out of it. Not that much, but like after that, the other needle drops weren't that bad. Yeah. But I feel like there was one more song that they play that was like, it was all fine, but like legitimately I'm just like, these kind of take me out. Oh, they did Mr. Blue Sky at the very end.
So somebody had a huge point. Is like, that song is literally everywhere. Yeah. Stop using it. Yeah. They don't need more money. Yeah. Stop.
Yeah. And so when they get to the Kong Kingdom, we see that they get into a cart and we're introduced to the carts. But I appreciate that, like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, why isn't he riding Rambi the Rhino? Like, why isn't he riding the stuff from the Donkey Kong Country games? Yeah. And that was fulfilled for me because the emblem on his cart was Rambi the Rhino.
That's cool. Yeah. I didn't notice that, but that's really cool.
So at least from what I remember. So I was just like, that's kind of nice. That kind of gets me, you know, a little, it fulfills the thing.
I'm kind of happy that the depending on which kingdom you're in, they kind of have their own different little cultures and whatnot. Yeah, like the Kongs fucking tune up their cars. Yeah. That realm of the Kongs is Fast X over there, dude. They just want to go fast and keep going fast and whatnot.
It's about family. Yeah.
I felt like they were gonna do, because there's nothing but cars. I thought they were gonna do like a Mad Max Fury Road reference. Yeah. Like, all right, Kongs, we're going out and we're going to the Banana Palace and like, we're Kongs, and like they do the prayer thing, like shit like that.
Well, they do have their own Morton Joe in the form of Cranky Kong, where they meet him, and you know, I mean, you could think that it's just like, oh, the king of the Kong world, it must be Donkey Kong. But if you know some of the lore from Mario, is that in the original Donkey Kong game, the guy that he fights is not actually Donkey Kong. Yeah. That's Cranky Kong. Yep. Cranky Kong's son, Donkey Kong Jr., is Donkey Kong. So I know that's stupid lore, like a little thing, but it also kind of shows weirdly that when we see that Giuseppe in the very beginning is playing the Donkey Kong game, it could also be assumed that like Cranky Kong came to the real world and then he fucked off and went back to the.
Yeah, I can see that.
That could have maybe happened. But yeah, long
this
story
is stuff
short,
that they're gonna explain later,
or they might not. I don't.
Or they may never know.
They better not. This shouldn't be like a. Well, how did he get his iconic boots? It's like, who gives a shit? But I will say that like. Yeah, it was a very simple way for them to be like, cool, okay, here's Cranky Kong, kind of another asshole. And we see that Donkey Kong also has a father complex and wants to please his father just as much as Mario can. And he's just like, I can't. He doesn't think he thinks I'm a big joke. And then,
I want to love. I just want my love, Dad. Like, I love that guy, dude.
And so he's just like, cool, I'll give you my army if you can beat my son in ritual combat. And so they go and see the immediately cut straight to him walking into the arena.
Yeah, he's all nervous. He's like,
which was the second trailer, like exactly that shot. Like they don't even spend any extra time before that. Immediately that, and then our buddy boy, he come out to something.
Donkey Kong. It's so good.
Seth Rogen is on record saying that he fought to get that song.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. You got to, man.
Yeah. And that was so satisfying. And that you hear like everybody's cheering, and then Cranky Kong's like, everybody shut up. That includes you, Diddy. And then they zoom over to Diddy and the rest of the DK crew.
I didn't see Lanky. I saw the other guy, the guy with the blue vest.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But yeah.
Either way, Clunko McGlunko. He was there too.
It was just beautiful.
It was awesome.
So happy. And it was just hearing them cheer and like Donkey Kong like having a grand old time and just fucking around was just so nice. Like I will be so mad if they don't make a separate Donkey Kong movie with this Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, all the other ones, and the Kremlins, and the Cranky Kong shows up. I thought that was going to be the post-credit scene, but they did not do it, and I'm pissed. I wanted some Kremlings in the background fucking around, but it didn't happen. But it was so satisfying to at least see them there.
Yeah. I want to see if that was to happen. I want King K. Rool to be voiced by what was the name of the bald guy from Whiplash?
Yeah,
I want
J.K. Simmons.
I want J.K. Simmons to voice it.
That would be rad. So, like him as like just good. A really mean, like eccentric villain.
Yeah,
great. Oh my
that'd
god,
be so good.
Oh, that'd be rad.
He'd be awesome.
Yes, but yeah. So then they fight it out, and I hate to say it, but yeah, the trailer kind of spoils it because he's under the ropes. He's getting the shit kicked out of him real bad. Yeah. And then he finds the cat suit and wins, and that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
So, not really that exciting, but like I still enjoyed it. It wasn't bad.
Establishes the now new dynamic with Donkey Kong and Mario.
Yeah.
Which like it's they don't hate each other. Yeah. It's just there's constant competition between the both of them, you know.
They both have their own arcs to complete.
Exactly.
And you also notice that after he beats up Donkey Kong, he makes like biscuits on his like
he does.
chest.
He
does.
Like,
I didn't notice that. I was just like, oh my god, that's so good. But yeah, so they win. And then we see that when Peach and her people were talking about like, here are the different lens and here's how we're going to do this and that. They have like a voxelized map that like comes up and it's like made of little cubes. Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong have the map from Super Mario World. That like, it looked exactly like the map from like the overworld from Super Mario World. And it shows like the little world. And so it was like really cute. That's like, oh, cool. They just have paper.
I kind of wish that DK had just the DK head island, like he does in NES.
God, man, that would have been really good.
That would have been funny as hell.
Yeah, and they really did update stuff for now because like even though they had references to Mario 64, DK 64, they didn't have the Kong Island. But the huts that they were in are from DK, like Jungle Freeze and stuff. Like that. Tropical Freeze.
Yeah. I feel like but if you were working on this from Illumination, grabbing references must have been super quick and super easy. But it's just the amount that they added to this, which I wanted to bring up a little bit. Did you notice that almost every single close-up shot was like at a 2.8 like T-stop?
Yeah, no, it was very super shallow depth of field.
Super shallow depth of field, which I appreciate because there's a whole bunch of colors everywhere.
Yeah.
And like if there was none of that, people would just get lost.
Oh yeah.
And like it was cool and smart for them to do that.
When we went in, I said, I'm like, I want to see, because we're in IMAX Dolby, whatever, I'm like, I want to see every pore on Mario's face. and we basically got that. These like close-ups were like really shallow depth of field, and yeah, I agree that like it was so subjective that you're like, cool, I'm not getting lost with all of these colors and shapes and stuff. Yeah, and so from there, they get their wish. They get to go fight off Bowser, and they're like, well, how are we going to do it? We need to get there right quick.
Really quick.
So we got to take the Rainbow Road.
And like they take it away. First of all, they build their cars.
Oh, yeah, and they have the straight-up music from the car, like making your car part of Mario Kart.
From Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8.
Yes, yeah.
And they even had the same menus for that.
Yeah, like these big like wheels that you spin, and you're seeing like all of them like kind of thinking about like, oh, what do I want mine to be like? It's really cute. I really like it. Yeah. So then they get their cars. Toad has this badass pimped out like giant car. Peach has her motorcycle, and Mario has his little cart. And then we get the coolest thing ever, which is them on Rainbow Road doing like backflips and shit. And it's like super dynamic. Like, what a scene. Yeah,
it was super cool. But before all that, right? Luigi's been stuck in the Shadow Realm for like how many hours now? He gets there. He gets there. A really horrific scene with these dry bones and whatnot. Jesus. A lot of creepy imagery. Them crawling out of the ground and shit like that.
I thought he would have been in the mansion for some reason from the trailers, but I'm glad they didn't, because in the Dark World there are just big castles that are all gross.
Yeah, exactly. So he runs for cover. He gets discovered by Shy Guys, and from there he gets taken to Bowser. And we're I want to say reintroduced to Bowser for the second time, but this time completely different tone. Yeah. And it's Bowser playing the piano. and I think this is probably, I want to say Jack Black's, I want to say second take. Yeah, he was like, I screwed up the rhythm the first time, I got it this time. And just started like going at it and like just peach. Like, you know, he does like his shit. Like it was just too much fun. Never in a million years would if you would said like, hey Alan, they're gonna make a movie and Bowser's gonna give you just a beautiful set of words. Like you would have never tackled me with that. I would have never seen this coming. It was awesome. I loved it.
And they have the entire moment of like him, he's doing the ballad, and we realize that like, he just wants to, of course his entire point is trying to get Peach to marry him, and that you can see he's being this jealous, like, you know, stalker, where like he's asking Luigi, he's just like, there's another guy that looks like you that's trying to squeeze in on my girl. And he's just like, oh, you think I would know him? I don't know him. That's fine.
You think I know everyone with a mustache? Come on.
And then later on, in the first letter of their name on their hat.
Yeah.
And then we see that, like, he I don't know if he's a good boss, because he seems really mean, but like he's basically the Shredder of like from the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, where everybody's like playing their weird what's it called? They're in their like hideout. Yeah. And the hideout is like super cool, but then we see that there's like they're just like messing around playing metal. Yeah. And then Bowser lays out his epic plan.
It's like this is why I became the most badass turtle of the entire fucking land, and like this is why I'm doing all of this. Yeah. And like everyone was like getting hyped up for him, and it just, and then I'm gonna ask her to marry me. It's like all this just, you know, I'm trying to get someone's love, and like even like his own people are like,
and then we kill them, right?
And then we. What if she doesn't like you?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's blasted.
Yeah. And then he turns to a dry bones like immediately.
Yeah, exactly. No one dies. They just transform into dry bones.
Yeah. And so then they, he's just like, I'm gonna kill everybody. She doesn't want to marry me.
Everyone. That's it.
And the one Easter egg that I'm pissed wasn't in there is that Bowser plays the piano. Yeah. The piano says on it Ludwig von Koopa.
Yes.
Which I liked. That's his son, I guess, or nephew or whatever. He's one of the Koopalings. But I wanted it to be that evil mad piano that like bites you in Mario 64.
Oh my god, yeah, that would have been cool.
What the fuck? Like I thought that was going to be the joke, is that after he stops playing, somebody, because what was it? He's talking to Kamek, the wizard one, and then he like smashes his fingies. And I wanted it to be he smashes his fingies and then it starts trying to chomp him.
That would have been great.
Yeah, but they don't do it because they don't do that, but they do show later on, and we'll get to it, one of the most horrific like enemies in all of Mario,
in a very scary way too.
Yeah. So now that we're like, and fun fact, we've basically covered like everything that happens to Luigi, and that's why I mean the movie has like such a crazy pace, because it starts off with like, okay, cool, here's all these things happening, But the A and the B plot, A plot is everything with Mario.
Yeah.
B plot is Luigi and Bowser. And there's very little there, so we kind of just keep going.
I was kind of disappointed in that. I kind of wanted more Luigi and Bowser stuff.
I feel like there were a couple scenes that might have been deleted or something.
I can sense that.
Yeah.
Luigi, he gets imprisoned into a dungeon in which we meet every single other character out there, including a very infamous star.
Yeah, a little Luma from the Mario Galaxy series that wants the sweet release of death.
Exactly. Like, I could see Miyamoto being like, I don't know if we can go there.
Yeah, like seriously.
And then Illumination be like, please let us have something. Please.
Yeah.
Which I think, I mean, honestly, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Because like the balance in there was really funny. It was just nice.
Yeah. And so finally, we are at Rainbow Road and have one of the most badass. It's basically a
Fury
Mad
Road.
Max Fury Road. Yeah. And nothing was cooler in the entire movie as a reference. Like the references ended up like kind of playing out in resolving scenes. So we have the reference of the catsuit that resolved the fight scene. And now we have the reference of this like badass, super huge like truck trying to kill Mario. And then they defeat it. And then he says, "You can't escape me."
You can't escape me!
Yeah, and he does his own witness me. Yeah. And we realize that he's a blue Koopa, and he says blue shell, and he fucking suicide bombs them. And he kamikazes and kills them, basically.
Dude, it's a legit scary thought. Like you defeated this guy, and like you just literally like a Terminator comes out of the fire,
out of the flames,
and it's like blue shell, and like he removes his, like he screams and throws his helmet down and just charges at you. That's the last thing he says, and like just blows himself up on you. It's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, and then that leads us to the most disturbing monster in all of video gaming, which is that weird, gross red eel.
The giant eel. They fall from the Rainbow Road all the way down.
Yeah. And Mario technically saves Donkey Kong's life, so Donkey Kong's like, okay, maybe I don't hate you, Baka, whatever.
Yeah, they get eaten by the giant eel. And the way they show this eel, if you're afraid of like a giant creature in water,
well,
beware.
Don't watch the movie.
Don't watch the movie because it's there.
But then they get inside and they're alive, of course. And he's just like, well, I want to help my dad. And he's just like, my dad thinks I'm a failure. Donkey Kong's like, he's right.
It was like, your dad thinks you're a failure too? Yeah. Well, yours is smart as shit. I think he's right, dude.
But then we realize that they're not so different, you and I.
I just really like that Donkey Kong is just unapologetically just a dickhead.
He's just a himbo, and I love it. It's so
good. Too good.
And then they get out by using one of the rockets from Donkey Kong's like messed up cart.
Yep.
They get out of there and they join basically they realize that Bowser gets to the Mushroom Kingdom and he's like, oh shit, there's nothing that can be done because the Donkey Kong, like the Kong Empire, Dynasty, whatever.
They all got kidnapped.
They got kidnapped. So they got like just messed up and he's like, Peach is just like, I just got to get to warn all my Toads. I need to make sure they're good. She gets there. Bowser shows up. And it's just like, so Peaches. I know we've had our differences in the past, but will you marry me?
Like, I know we have our differences in the past, but who'd have thought that love makes a guy come out of their shell? and like everyone's
I forgot about that. Yeah. And then he's just like, I told you that was a stupid line.
Like, no, he's okay. He's like, gives him the thumbs. Like, it's okay. Just, you're good.
It's so good. And then we have, of course, Peach just being like, I would never marry you. And then he like squishes, he's about to like kill a toad. And she's like, oh, well, I'll reconsider.
Yep.
And it shows that she's nice to a fault. And she's like, I got no other options. I guess I got to do this, which frames all of Super Mario Odyssey way better because all of Super Mario Odyssey is about their wedding. And you can see that she's being coerced, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so then we finally get the wedding and we see the King Babam and King Boo show up to like rep their bro.
Yeah, they're out here. It's like, oh, dude, our bro's getting married. Let's go.
Yeah, they're not like. No, that's what I love about it. No one there is being coerced. They're all like, "Good for you. Here's a present."
It's not like in the game where like people like there was dialogue of people being coerced to go there. Yeah. And this one is literally just Bowser's so-called friends and their minions just showing up.
And then they have the wedding. And we see that one of the gifts is a little egg. Did you notice the egg?
I saw the egg.
I think we all noticed the egg.
What's in the egg?
The post-credits scene.
That's right.
Yeah. Which, a little disappointing, frankly.
I mean, they had two of them. They did.
They had a mid-credit and a
before we get there,
post-credits.
let's finish there. So we see the egg. We saw a whole bunch of gifts.
Yes.
The only people missing right now is Donkey Kong and Mario.
Yeah.
And Bowser's like, hey, listen, before we get married, I know I promised you that I wouldn't hurt anybody, but that army you hired, I'm going to sacrifice it for you. It's like,
In your honor.
In your honor, by the way. It's like, what is this?
God, it's so good. I just love how he's completely unapologetic. He's like, this is what you do. This is what a person.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the outfit from Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah. And we see that Toad snuck Princess Peach something because he gives her the bouquet. She's like, is that the right bouquet? And he's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
This
I
is
got you.
nice.
I got you.
And it's nice that like Toad starts off as like this whiny freak, and then she's just like, you got heart, kid. Cool. We'll go hang out. You're now my friend.
Yep.
I'm like, that's nice. But yeah, on their way up there was the most bombastic fight scene of them pulling out basically every like animation reference possible from Smash Bros. And the games. Mario puts his hands at his side while he's running.
Yep.
Yeah, he does his like punch up. It's so good. It's incredible. And then Donkey Kong, I thought Donkey Kong was going to do this.
Same during that, yeah.
He doesn't do it, but besides that, like he's kicking ass. Like it's pretty great.
It's to the point where like what is it? Mario gets the fire flower, and he sets off the bomb, right? The King Bomb.
Yeah.
He like sets his ass off. From there, Bowser's like, you know what? That's it.
Yeah.
The wedding is off. I'm nuking this. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Because like the entire time they're also trying to fight for the star. They're trying to get that star. It's like unlimited power or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna nuke this place. Screw it, whatever. So this giant bullet bill comes out.
Yeah, I think it might have been a bonsai bill or something. I don't remember what he calls it, but in Super Mario World, I think it's called a bonsai bill, and it's like enormous.
Starts to fly out. Mario is in his he's now in his what is it called? Which one?
The Tanuki suit.
The Tanuki suit.
Where they call him like a bear or something.
They're like, what are you, a cat or a bear or what the hell? You're a raccoon?
Yeah.
From there, what is it? Yeah, they're about to nuke this place, and it kind of felt like a Batman, the ending of Batman.
Batman Rises, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, where like he's over there flying, he's trying to get this bullet bill's attention or whatever, and he flicks it in the eye, and right as they're about to hit, that turn that it does is menacing, so dude. It's fucking like, oh my god.
And it shows that everyone that's a part of Bowser's army is just like too angry to die.
Yeah, they're just no,
like,
we're going for it.
I'm following whoever fucked with me. Yeah.
So it follows Mario, and Mario just sets this fucking nuke off.
Yeah, like and he destroys the barrier between the Mushroom Kingdom and Brooklyn.
Which first, why would you want to take a nuke to?
It was it was the kind of thing where I'm just like, Mario, what are you doing?
Mario, you weren't. Did you know that was gonna happen?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like the bomb, or not the bomb, the bullet bill goes through the same pipe that they go through.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna go straight to Brooklyn. No, it blows up in that in between world.
Yeah.
But the explosion is so massive. That it kind of just goes. It just kind of like it implodes and sucks everyone in.
Yeah.
And where do they end up?
They end up in Brooklyn.
Back to Brooklyn.
In a weirdly, it's one of those like, oh god, the thing that I found really weird about like the entire stakes of like Mario and like wanting to impress his dad and everything.
Yeah.
Is that first of all, that's not a great message because like screw his dad, who cares?
Yeah.
But also that's the conceit of like a lot of these where it's just like, oh, this person's a hero or whatever. And we need to show everyone else so that they'll stop being mean to him.
Yeah.
And so they end up doing that, in which Spike, their not friend, but like ex-boss, gets like the shit kicked out of him by Koopas. It's like, who shall save us? And then Mario gets beaten to shit.
He does.
Like just pounded into the ground, and then is hiding at the exact beginning of the movie. He's at the Punch-Out Pizzeria. He's right next to the Jumpman game where it all began, and he sees the commercial.
He's getting his ass whooped, right?
Yeah.
And like he runs away from Bowser.
Yeah.
And he sits there, he's like, this is so fucking scary. And the commercial that him and his brother start playing, but very, very specific parts. Save Brooklyn.
Yeah.
together, like just those parts for some reason. Yeah. Which this is like the little conflict within my brain comes in.
Yeah.
In this entire time, nothing ever comes up, at least to my like ability here in my head, where he says like, oh, like I can't do this by myself. I can't do this by myself. He never does that up until that point, and then it gets resolved immediately. That to me, it felt more like a Luigi thing that it should have been, and not his.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I had. I feel like that should have been an arc for Luigi and not so much for Mario.
Sure. Yeah, that kind of gets it resolved in the way that then like Mario's like, okay, I'm a Super Mario. I'm gonna do this. And so he basically sacrifices himself again.
Yeah.
With Bowser just being like, this is bullshit. I hate you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to use a star to kill you.
Yeah.
And then he's like right in between the two of them. And he's about to jump and get the star, but like Bowser's about to incinerate him. And then we actually get the resolution of someone's arc.
Luigi, like trash that he is, he comes out of the fucking dumpster and he's like, I need to do something. And like he grabs a manhole, which I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of funny how this adventure started with Luigi being like, are you sure? And they open a manhole, and here is Luigi protecting his brother with a manhole. I don't know, I feel like there's a bit of a connection there maybe.
He's like, it's like you said, bro.
Yeah.
If we're together, nothing can hurt us.
And like this manhole is like melting in his fucking arms as Bowser's giving it his all. And they both dive and they grab the star together.
And guess what?
Oh.
I was right. He goes supersonic at the end.
Yep.
And so they go supersonic and they do the invincibility star.
Yep.
And they just beat the shit out of Bowser.
Seriously.
And it is so satisfying.
Exactly. Yeah. It's literally that moment. It's like, okay, our final push. And I don't know. I kind of want to time how long that was.
Yeah. Right.
You know how like the star has a specific timer.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
Like how long it is. I want to know how like long this one is and see if it matches or whatever. Sure. I feel like that could be a cool little Easter egg or whatever. Yeah. But no, they do the thing. They grab the star. They defeat the Bowser. I don't know what like. This is another thing. They defeat Bowser. They give him a shrink shroom.
Yes, the
and
mini
like
shroom.
he turns small and like they keep him as a pet and whatnot.
Yeah.
But what happened? Is Brooklyn destroyed? Does it stay there?
Yeah, right. Like I assume that. Well, because they are they in the Mushroom Kingdom at the very end of the game? Or
yes. Yeah. They kind of just destroyed Brooklyn and like and like
hip hip hooray.
Yeah, like all right, I'm not paying for this. And like they just go back to the Mushroom Kingdom.
So I assume that might be how he and Pauline become friends or something.
I can see that, yeah.
Is that he's the hero or whatever. I remember they have the newspaper clipping that says like Mario saves the day, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like there is an element of it. But yeah, I guess this might be the way that the Mushroom Kingdom and like the world like bridge the gap. And now people might be living in the Mushroom Kingdom, or it might just be them. Who knows? But yeah, they just kind of like leave Brooklyn destroyed with a giant crater from Bowser's like fortress. And yeah, that's basically where the movie ends, kind of unceremoniously, where it's like, cool, that happened. Mario's freaking dad, as well as Cranky Kong, talk to them and be like, I always loved you, son.
I'm so proud of my son.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you saved the world, I'm proud of you.
Brooklyn was saved by the Super Mario Brothers. And like stuff like that. That finally happened.
Yeah, and Spike says it. The really big bully asshole says it. Let's a hero for the Super Mario Brothers.
He's forgiven for everything. Yes. All of his past sins are now forgiven.
And then, the movie kind of just ends. We show them waking up. They're brushing their teeth, getting ready. And then they go through the warp pipe. And that's it.
Yeah,
that's
they're Mushroom Kingdom, and it feels like there could be another one. I wouldn't mind having it.
there to be another one.
Yeah,
like
that would be
Super
cool.
Mario Galaxy or something.
Yeah, I mean, they strongly hint at it when there's a whole galaxy out there. It's like, oh, shit, yeah.
And we see Luma. I mean, Luma's Rosalina's whole thing.
That's confirmation.
Yeah. But I will say that this movie did a great job of blending all of the, like, Mario property together. It wasn't just, hey... The thing that like the early 2000s was known for was people making like fake trailers for like movies, and they made one for like Tetris and they made one for Legend of Zelda and stuff like that.
I remember that one,
Yeah, and like some of them are just like so silly, but like for Mario, a lot of them were like, well, let's just do like the first game, and then the next movie will be the next game or whatever. I appreciate that this one's like, hey, it's all the same kind of thing. We've done
Yeah.
World 1-1 from Mario a gajillion times and a bunch of the other games. Let's put them all together. And so we have the first Mario game, then Mario 64, and Donkey Kong, and Mario Kart, and a bunch of other stuff that's like squeezed in there that is appreciated, that you don't need to like just focus on one property. So I feel like the next movie might be like a weird odyssey where they go
the Mario world that they fit into this.
Yeah, so the next one could be that they need to travel along the world and they cover Sunshine and Galaxy and Odyssey and just all that stuff.
Oh, Mario, around the Mushroom Kingdom, there's 2 other humans, purple and a yellow. They say they look exactly like us, but they're doing evil. They're doing evil.
Oh my God, I would love that.
That would
so
be awesome.
Much. Hell yeah.
That's when Charles Martinet, right?
Yeah,
he voices Wario as well. I think that he's the only one that can do Wario, dude.
He does Wario and Waluigi. He does all 4 of them. He does Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi. So I would be so happy for him to do that. Or I don't even know who they could get. Like Danny DeVito, maybe. Maybe.
I'm trying to think. It has to be like the voice has to fit Wario.
Yeah.
It has to fit him.
And I think Dunkey said Al Pacino is going to be Waluigi.
That'd be good. That'd be good as hell. I would love that.
On that note, I mean, like,
The movie's technically not over. You can't say on that note. Because the trailers, not the trailer, the credits played.
Yeah.
And we get who would have thought they're doing a what is it, a scene after the trailer type, not trailer, after the credits type thing.
Post-credit scene?
Post-credit scene
And a mid-credit scene?
Whoa!
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Great.
The very first one was again they have Bowser. He's doing his ballad thing.
God,
he's still
so
small,
good.
and it's just a fun little bit to close on.
It's cute.
I liked it a lot. After that, another minute and a half passes by.
And it felt like, you mentioned this after the movie, it felt like the end to the Godzilla 2000 movie.
Yeah.
Where they're like going through a Brooklyn under whatever, like sewer and just scanning through. And then they find the egg and it's like moving. Oh. And then you hear. You hear Yoshi.
Little Yoshi.
Which is weird to me because it's just like they show Yoshi's earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
And
this is the Yoshi, though.
Fair enough. So I guess the next movie, I keep saying game. But I think the next movie, that would make a lot of sense if it's them all going on like a big trip somewhere. They're trying to like find something in the galaxy or whatever. And so they do, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy, Mario, like maybe they actually do like Mario Party and Mario Soccer and Mario Baseball. Like they're just going around doing a bunch of crazy shit. And that like Yoshi is their companion that they like ride on and have a good time.
I think if they're going to do a next one, and this is just using the whole Yoshi thing that they provided for us. If they're gonna do this, I think it's gonna be like a Yoshi story thing where like it's like, hey, I'm Yoshi, and like he turns around, it's like, wait a minute, there were 8 other eggs here. What's going on? And like from there, find like his brothers and sisters, and like big adventure starts over there or something.
Yeah.
The thing with the Mario universe is that in this one, to me at least, in this very first movie, and this is technically the very first movie, if they want to do a whole universe on this, they killed off every single question that an average like person would have. It's like, how does Mario work? Type thing. So I feel like this next movie will be less on your face. It's like, hey, this is what a mushroom does, and it will be more how can I say, hopefully better paced. Hopefully more about like the adventure and not explaining what's going on in the adventure. That's just one of the couple like little gripes that I had with this one. But besides that, I'm looking forward to this. We're in a new age where video game movies can happen, Keon. It's finally here.
Wow, this was the first good video. Did you hear this? The first good video game movie? Did you hear that, Alan?
What about my favorite one, the Doom, where The Rock says, "Hasta la vista, don't have a cow," and like he starts blasting away at demons.
Hasta la pasta, don't get any onion.
Hasta la pasta. What do you think is the next one for Nintendo?
I legitimately think, and it's not going to work as well, is Legend of Zelda, because it's their other big IP. If we're talking about first-party IPs that Nintendo have, that they have the full rights to, it's Legend of Zelda. But the thing that I find funny about this movie is that it is like, did you ever see Lego Batman?
Yep.
Yeah, this is to Mario as Lego Batman is to Batman, where we're pulling out all of the like individual cute little Easter eggs, but overall, the entire idea and the reason why it's funny is because the premise is so silly. Zelda really isn't. It's pretty dour and dramatic. Like each game has like a weirdly terrifying premise.
Yeah.
So for them to do that would be pretty heavy, but I think they could, and I would be very interested in how they would do it.
Yeah.
Because some of the games are like kind of fun and upbeat, but some of them are like really disturbing. So
I feel like for adaptations like this, I think it will be it's easier to tone down a game to fit into a movie.
Sure.
With Zelda, I think they can nail it with like a decent adventure story.
Sure.
Seriously, a silent protagonist going out to save somebody for whatever reason, and from there meet very interesting characters. Because that's what Zelda really has is hyper deep and like interesting characters. If I were to tackle a movie, if they were to give me a script, I would say give me Metroid.
I would that's the one other one, yeah.
I would make like something like a space adventure, something badass, something like, have you ever seen Titan AE?
Yes, yeah.
Something along the lines like that greediness,
yeah,
but like just with Nintendo budget behind it, that kind of thing. I would say something like that.
Same.
Or even a good space adventure with Star Fox, dude.
Oh my god.
That would be awesome.
We're going to take a moment right now to talk about, have you heard of A Fox in Space on YouTube?
I love A Fox in Space.
Did you see episode 2?
No.
It came out
It's already out? Dude.
Yeah. It's 40 minutes long.
40 minutes?
It's so good. I've watched it like 4 times now. And like...
Why do you have to take my pants, Wolf? What do you mean?
Exactly.
Those are my pants.
God, I love he's like, oh, you even took my belt. What, you think I'm going to hang myself?
Yeah.
Wait, should I hang myself? Where are you taking me?
Where are you taking me?
So
don't worry about it.
God, Wolf is so good.
He's really good, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, if you haven't seen, there's a YouTube channel, I don't remember, I think it might be called A Fox in Space, but it is as if Star Fox was an 80s cartoon show, where it's like a slow burn, chill time where everybody just has like these crazy personalities about them.
Star Fox visiting his doing that memorial thing, right? It's like Falco is perfect in there too.
So
He's
good.
really
Dude,
good.
you're gonna love episode 2.
Oh,
but yeah, that like if they did Star Fox, that would be so cool because like A Fox in Space has shown that there is a lot of lore there that is cool and fun to like pick apart and could definitely make an entire movie out of. But overall, what I think would be the next move, frankly, is for them to do a Legend of Zelda movie and then tease a Smash Bros movie and do it with Mario, Luigi, Peach, all of them, all of the Legend of Zelda people, all the Pokemon people, and then include other characters that could then get their own movies.
yeah.
Nobody knew who Ness was, at least in the US, until that came out. Like Earthbound had been here, but a lot of people weren't really, they're like, who even is that? Kirby could get a weird introduction in that because like Kirby doesn't have extensive lore. I don't think Kirby could make a movie.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He would show up as like a weird, like, what is this thing?
Yeah, I could see him that, or like those cute little 5-minute like shows.
Yep.
Or like one season is like 30 minutes long of just like 5-minute little skits.
Yeah, that'd be
like
fun.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's I feel like personally, I feel like this movie is going to be a success. This is literally just day 2 of the release as the time of recording this. Personally, I feel like it's going to do well.
Me too.
Illumination knocked it out of the park. I was a little worried at first, especially when that newsletter came out. It's like they already confirmed a mushroom joke. Ooh, but this one was like he just doesn't like it. That's it.
That's fine.
So I'm fine with that.
And I'm surprised how much care they put into, and not surprised mostly just because Shigeru Miyamoto was like over the shoulder, like, hey, no, do this or that. But also that I think that this format could work really well for like any other Nintendo property. I would be totally open if they did, like I know it's not technically Nintendo, but like a Pokemon movie where it's like a similar kind of thing. Or Legend of Zelda kind of movie. Any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I would be so down for. Star Fox would have been really good. God, I love Star Fox so much. So I have like a stupid amount of list of trivia stuff, but primarily the things that I wanted to mention are just like a couple of small items that like occur throughout. So in that commercial that we see that came out for the game, dang it, the movie. I keep saying that. We see that there's a call number.
Yep.
If you call the number, Luigi picks up.
Really?
As a voicemail. And it's Charlie Day. And he's like, hi, thank you for calling the Mario plumbing service. Sorry we couldn't get to you, but you can leave your name and number or whatever. We do everything. We do houses. We do, I'm trying to remember, like trailers. We do mansions.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, pal. So that was nice. But as well as there's a website that you can go to, and the website looks like not Ask Jeeves, but kind of like a Angie's List or whatever for like a company, and all of the reviews are like Easter eggs or like foreshadowing.
Ooh.
One of the bad reviews is from Spike, and he's saying like, these guys are unreliable, they left my business and they suck, and now we don't have anybody to replace them. And I think one of them was like from their mom. Is just like, they're good boys, and I think they're great, and you'll love their service. And like it's really adorable. So go check out the website. For
Attention
the
to detail. That's awesome.
Yeah. We also see that in the credits, Shigeru Miyamoto was one of the big producers. I think also the guy from Illumination was as well. But two people that were also put in the credits, which is one, the current CEO or president of Nintendo, as well
Doug Bowser.
No, of Nintendo Japan, which I think is what is his name here? It's in here, Furukawa. But also they put in Satoru Iwata, and they like had a little thank you to him. He died like a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I thought that was really nice.
That's
As well as Charles Martinet was Giuseppe and Mario's dad, as well as he could have been a couple other people. On the media circuit, one of my favorite quotes that you hear is that what was it, when Jack Black was with Jacksepticeye and they were playing, Jack Black is like talking to them, and he's like kind of Tenacious D, like just has his own attitude about stuff. He was talking to them, and he's just like, do you guys know there's a number called sextillion? I'm like, yeah, probably, I guess. And he's just like, the only reason I know that is because it has 21 zeros in it, and that's a blackjack number. And I'm Jack Black. I love that. So like,
what does that have to do with Mario?
Absolutely nothing.
Mr. Bowser.
So many of these things have like nothing to do with Mario. In particular, like Seth Rogen went on like a bunch of interviews just being like, yeah, I wanted this not to suck. And they're like, well, what do you think about the people that say that like video game movies suck? He's like, have you seen The Last of Us?
Oh yeah.
Shut up. Like,
yeah, true.
It's pretty good. But then also that they asked everybody like, what's your favorite video game?
Oh geez.
And like, I love that the first thing that came to mind for Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, they're doing an interview together. It's like, what's your favorite Nintendo game? And they're like, I liked Contra, and they said the Konami code, and I'm like, that's a competitor, right? Like that's not Nintendo, which is like a funny thing. But then they mentioned that they're like, no, the OG Legend of Zelda was nice. So like, there are a couple things in the interviews that are okay, but I'm telling you guys, if you check out these interviews, considering they're just the voice actors, they have very little to say about the movie. Like they're just like, I just read my lines, kind of. They didn't say that as much, but like. The one other little nugget that I love from the media tour is that if you see stuff of Jack Black on the red carpet, he's wearing a suit. Yeah, that's based off of Bowser, and it has like the shell on the back, and it's got flames on the arms. It's really cool. But in the background of those pieces, you can see Shigeru Miyamoto just standing there awkwardly like, cool.
This is nice.
This is great.
This is
Yeah.
nice.
And he's like, some people come up to him, but like, there's one in particular where he's just standing there like, this is pretty great. I'm having a good time. Yeah. I called it. They went supersonic.
They did.
They did it. I said it in that video, and they did it. You're welcome, the internet. They barely said it's a me Mario. He says it once.
He says it once.
I was really pissed about that. There was another time where somebody's just like, "Who's this guy?" And I was like, "Bro, say it.
Just say it, Mario. Please say it."
Yeah. Just like say the line, Bard. Like, come on, man. It's simple. So that was kind of meh. According to Jessica, apparently you see their fingers and toes when they get out of bed.
It's weird. It's weird. It is weird. There was a part where, like, first of all, Mario. How old is Mario? 25 canonically?
Yeah. I think canonically he's 25.
He's 25 and he's living in his parents' like house, and he's just sitting there like naked hand playing fucking whatever.
Jesus, it's a little much to see them.
Yeah, it's
like
a little
that.
weird.
As well as when they're in the sewer and they like bash through one of the walls. The silhouette is of Mario's like original like 8-bit silhouette.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a little cool. It's a little nice. Very small Easter eggs. The sewer looks like the sewer from the Mario Odyssey. Pauline, you can see she actually has some campaign flyers around town.
Oh, that's
They talk
cool.
about her win, which is kind of nice. I can't believe that they just let Seth Rogen laugh. Like,
yeah,
there's an entire sequence that like there's a shot that he just laughs and like the entire audience is like, this
Mario is like 2 inches tall,
Yeah.
and like it's literally just him looking at the camera going, and like that's it. It's like, what the fuck?
And two of the Easter eggs that I just wanted to mention really quick are that one, in I think that same pizza restaurant, I think you can see Miss Pac-Man, like the arcade cabinet.
Yeah, I'm
which
pretty
is-
sure.
Yeah, a cool little Easter egg for the fact that they kind of came around and were like popular at the same time. But my favorite Easter egg is that Mario is getting like chased down on Rainbow Road by that giant thing. And so he jumps from one thing to the next, and he does the skip from speed running. There's a speed running Rainbow Road skip that just you jump from one thing to the other, and you can go even like
that's
quicker.
right. Yeah.
And they put it in the movie. It was like, dang,
Oh, that's
this is
cool.
nice. I
That's
appreciate
really
that.
cool,
Like,
yeah.
even though that's a small thing, it's one of those elements that's just like this. And the thing that I appreciate about like all of the references having like some story plot element is that you don't need to do that. You know,
Yeah. There's just
so
a
much-
little bit extra effort that goes a long way.
But there's so many movies that come out that like, you know, they look at the camera and they're just like, hey, isn't it funny that we did this? Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
This entire movie was like, we could just do the thing and it can
Yeah.
be part of the plot. And like your weird nerd friend will explain it to you later. But you know, it's just it's a fun little thing to be in there.
Or like one thing that I saw
Yeah.
when Mario was on super mode, he does the his iconic like 3 jumps, like whoo, wha,
he?
whoo.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
like he
notice
he does that.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
awesome.
dude, yeah.
God, that's great.
A lot of his movesets are in this movie.
Yeah, like, and that's what I appreciate is when the Sonic movie came out way back when, there were some people being like, oh my God, they used some of the like animations from the Sonic games. This one's like, that's basically everything.
Yeah, it's everything here. They
When he
use
put
them
his
all.
hands by his side and was running, I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so good. Oh, I loved it. So yeah, that's the Mario movie. I think it was pretty good. I think that critics are just looking at it as if they're trying to say, I'm curious if there were that many people that had a negative experience seeing the Mario movie, or they're writing a review to shield people that don't know Mario, you know?
Yeah, I think of if you're writing a review just to shield people that don't know Mario, I think you're doing it wrong.
I agree.
By doing this, I think you should be more welcoming.
Sure.
I think given the movie where credits due, one, it's actually out. It doesn't seem to have like a hard backstory like behind the scenes or anything like that. And two, this is from again a character that doesn't even talk in the games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it does. This character doesn't have like deep character development in any of the games. So here we are being introduced to him and like with it. So, and I think it's a pretty good start.
Yeah, and we also don't really see, like in the games, the most you get is a wahoo or whatever, anything
Yahoo!
Charles Martinet said, or him mumbling in Italian. So for them to, I understand everybody's like, okay, Chris Pratt sucks, and I don't want him to be Mario, but I will excuse, you know, like I think he did as best as he could.
Yeah.
And another thing that they mentioned when they were casting for this thing is that apparently they brought like 5 different people that they thought would like have a good voice for these characters, and they put a picture of the character up, and then they just played the people's like voice lines from maybe like a movie or something just to see what people think, and then they chose from there. So weirdly enough, there was a bit of that in this.
I can see that.
Like they were just like, okay, even though that Nintendo Direct was like, hey, Chris Pratt will be Mario, isn't he so cool?
He's so cool.
Yeah, is that like, I get that there was a process to it at least.
I
So,
feel like it wasn't that long ago when they did that trailer.
there's nothing funnier. Everyone right now, go and look up reactions to that, because those are so funny of people like being unable to breathe. They're laughing so hard. Like Dunkey's one is really good. Alpharad's one is hilarious. So I'm very happy that this got a happy ending of like not being a terrible movie. And yeah, I'm excited to see what not only how you guys think of the movie, but also if you saw any Easter eggs that we didn't see. I know that there's probably so many we didn't catch, and I'm excited to hear what they are, because I think that this movie is going to be fun on a second watch. I don't think that this movie is going to be, you know, like revered for a long time, but similarly to the Sonic movie, it's going to be fun, and that I think kids are really going to enjoy it. And I think that video game fans, they know the audience they made it for, which is children and people that grew up or have a lot of reverence for Super Mario. And I think they did that.
Yep, I think so too. Also, on the bottom, let us know what would you give this? How many shines out of 5 would you give this? I'd say 3.5.
Yeah.
I would say about that much. That's just me.
I'd give it a 4. Ooh. 4 shines. 4 shine stars. Shine star get.
That second movie's gonna be hopefully 5.
I hope so. Funny enough, the Sonic movies actually like increased in rating. So the first one got like I think it was a 62. The second one got a 69.
Do you think they'll meet?
Yes.
That'd be cool.
I would really like that. God, they're only allowed to meet if it's at the Olympic Games. And they do Olympic Games with Shadow the Hedgehog
That'd be
Dr.
awesome.
Eggman and Bowser doing the dressage. I'd love that.
That'd be cool.